In order, please rise and join us in the pledge. The pledge of
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, let the roll call show all board members are present, and we will go right to our student showcase.
Board, audience members, it's so great to see you this evening. It's such a pleasure and honor to have you join us on this great June day. And it's nice to see you back with us. Lots of tans and look like you're enjoying summer. So it's good to have you here. It's one of our favorite things to do as a board and a school district is to acknowledge our students for doing great things and show the folks that went on showcase their talent, their gifts and talents on the biggest stages in our state. And we're here to acknowledge some of those folks this evening. And I'm happy to see some of your coaches here, and we'll ask for them to share some remarks. And if you have any remarks you'd like to share as well, we're always open to that. We have some certificates for you as well. But the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to honor a person for a Scholar of Distinction. Is Caden Granger here? Caden is not here, so we'll do that at another time. But Caden received a pretty amazing award for his academic successes. So let's move on to track and field. Coach, it's just a pleasure to have you here. I think one of a coach that I admire, one of the top track coaches, I think probably in our area and maybe even the state. He's been doing it for a long time. So let's welcome our coach up, and he's going to share some remarks. On our track and field, I'll pull these out, and then if you have any things you'd like to share overall about our students that we're going to recognize for their qualifying for the state meet and some of the work that they did there.
All right, certainly. Well, first off, is thank you for recognizing, like you said, people at these student athletes that are at the biggest showcase when it comes to the state meet, because that's ultimately kind of at the high school level what the ultimate goal is, to try to advance to the state meet. And we had a really nice group advance to the state meet. They did a wonderful job representing our school and community there. I'm going to start with our 4x1 relay team for the boys. We've got a couple of them here because, of course, as summer, it's kind of hard to get everybody. But we have Brody Tuck here. We have Carter Ronning. Along with those two, we also had Blaine Sternquist and Cole Olson on that team. And they qualified by being the section champions and running a school record to qualify for the state meet. So that was quite impressive. So Brody and Carter, come on up. You want to go?
Well, we'll do a picture with everybody if there's other folks here.
There are other folks here.
So we're gonna bring you back up for a picture, and then you gotta give your speech. And then we have a board member. We got a board member or two might want to race you in the parking lot. No takers.
And speaking of school records, the next award I'm gonna give out is for Devin Bragg. He qualified at the state meet in the 110 hurdles. And at the state meet, he ran the school record and he ended up finishing 11th in the 110 hurdles. Devin? And our final athlete here is Lily Koenig, and this is the third year she's qualified for the state meets. And this year she qualified in two separate events, the 100 hurdles and the 300 hurdles. She ended up 16th in the 300 hurdles and 14th in the 100 hurdles. Lily?
All right, now we need you up for a picture with the board. Come on up.
Here, I try to get kids, so we know better.
Either way,
Yeah, he's over here.
Activity, but
It's a short person.
you guys gotta get in the middle.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Trees are gonna-
How you learned
It's-
So we just gonna be racing them.
The ones with the long legs. Tall guys in the back.
Awesome, thank you.
One more.
You have one more.
Good job.
All right, Clay Target, we're gonna bring coach up. Coach, I only have 3 certificates.
That's
Okay.
perfectly fine, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
all right, that's what was submitted to us, so,
Perfect, yeah.
yeah, we'd love to hear some remarks.
Yeah, hi, everybody. I was not like mentally prepared for a little bit of the spiel, so I'm winging it, but, Scott Mullen, I'm the head coach of the Clay Target League team, and the team has had just a historic season, really, and a historic run for the past few years. The reason why we have the 3 invites is we are sending 3 individuals to the state tournament, which is gonna happen this Friday. Pretty incredible. We had only ever sent, 1 in the team's history. 2 years, and we're sending 3 individuals this year. Most of probably, certainly of our school's history, but possibly of any school. It's a really, really prestigious accomplishment. The Clay Target League is in Minnesota is the largest participating sport, or rather the state for the sport. So it's kind of the cream of the crop. To make it this level in Minnesota is pretty impressive, and you get there by being in the top 100 in the state. For perspective, there's more athletes in Clay Target League in Minnesota than there are in hockey, boys and girls combined. So it's very, very, very stiff competition. So in addition to well, I'll say these 3 names, and then I've got another announcement to make. So these 3 also placed 1st, 2nd, and 3rd respectively in our conference. Which was also super incredible. So Drew Francel, Aston Bishman, and Ethan Engbrecht, congrats on that. The order scrambled. Good work, guys. Super proud of you. All 3 seniors. Drew went to state last year as well. For individuals. In addition to that, our team shot at the Minnesota Trap Championship. Yesterday was the second to last day. Today is the final day of it. This is the world's largest shooting sport event. Our team placed 2nd in our conference. However, we are 1 bird behind the highest score across the state for the championship. The top 40 teams in that event are then invited as a team to the state championship as a team. So we'll be doing that for the 3rd year in a row now on Friday. And I want to give those guys, even though they don't have, some of them are here, some of them already got their certificate, but I want to give the 5 that are also representing the team there some recognition. So Drew again, Ryan Haft, Kai Minsky, Ethan Engbrecht, and Chris McLennan are also going to be representing the team at state on Friday. So give those guys a round of applause.
Could we have all 5 of you come up here, and I see you got like a trophy here, like a belt, is that like the championship belt?
Yeah, so
Let's get that in the picture too, let's get up here with the board. Yeah.
Might as well both shoot today if you're shooting today, right?
Very limited shorts, but today is.
It is, yeah, yeah. The state tournaments in Firelight with the championships in Alexandria.
Yeah, that's.
Everyone found a window.
The trophy.
I had a little. Days.
Just need to get one good one. Okay, thanks.
No way.
Oh, yeah, but they don't smell that one.
So how are we feeling about next week's competition? We feeling like we give our best performance if we can
Yeah.
have a shot?
Yeah, we've got. it, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, good luck, guys.
Second highest score in the state so far.
Good luck.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's go get them, everybody. Thank you so much. And we have one other organization we'd like to acknowledge this evening, Adapted Bowling. Do we have our Adapted Bowling coach here or any Adapted Bowling participants? Okay, well, we will get our certificates to Charlie Miller and Anna Cavalier at a later date. So we're so happy for them and thankful for their efforts as well. So this concludes our recognition part of the school board meeting. Because it's an open board meeting, you're all welcome to stay throughout the evening, or you're welcome to leave as well. But thank you so much for coming this evening and enjoy your evening in the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Good luck. Have fun on Friday.
Right, just leave them there. You're fine, leave them there. You're fine. Just not.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, sure hope the
All these
water.
folks, they do great work, don't they?
They do.
Yeah.
We all deserve a.
Thanks. Upper reelection.
Have a good time, man. Go get them and good luck with the next stuff. Sounds good. See ya.
For this one.
I got
So the lowest one shot next. Oh, was he?
And there's, I think you just.
For staying, Chloe, you just make us feel good. Make us feel better.
Yeah.
All right, so the next item is citizen comments, unless Chloe has signed up. I guess it's safe to assume there's none signed up. So we will move on to board member committee reports, and we'll start with Sue.
I had just following, the last board meeting, I had a public engagement meeting with Deb and Melissa, and we met with, Ben and Peter Leverman. He's the guy that does the surveys, checked out. So we had discussion about how we move forward with that, with this new, committee that's running, and, then when that starts up again in the fall, and what Peter could offer us for that. And I copied with Ben, and of course, we all were at graduation. Which was amazing.
You took mine. That was the only one I had.
Say it again. I'm Sue. Well, that's what you get when you're first.
Right. Next time I'll grab you first, and you'll say I don't have anything.
Eric.
I don't have anything. It's like his too.
Don, what do you got?
I had community ed, graduation, agenda planning, policy, the recognition breakfast.
Oh, I did that too.
And then, was at the state trap tournament yesterday and, yeah, it's pretty amazing what these kids are doing out there, so it's fun to watch.
Eric?
I'm not in the report.
Melissa?
I had the public engagement, things Sue already messaged, graduation, the breakfast, policy meeting today, and Eric, you didn't mention the Lions breakfast, which was super awesome. We were like all day.
Oh, at the airport?
Yeah, they do such a good job. You guys do a very good job with that. And then, I also had the unexpected pleasure of accompanying the Leo Club on, we're gonna be Feed My Starving Children. They did a little thing after school this last week. Oh, look at that, right? Sorry. Anyway, it was really nice. They're not in their school year, you know, and they're still going and volunteering and doing the club stuff. So, and then Lincoln got to come too, and it was a fun thing. Cool kids. Don't tell my son.
Chad?
I had a graduation and then policy before this.
I had, we had a Tiger Connections meeting. Were you at that?
Oh, yeah, sorry, I was there too.
I attended a C general membership, meeting via Zoom. And then, the retiree breakfast, graduation, and we had agenda planning last week, so.
I do have one thing, Chad, when you and like Kim and the rest of the group did with that duck,
Oh, yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that's
That was
good.
it brought everyone in the community together.
Right.
It was crazy.
It was awesome. Hopefully we'll do it next year.
And
too.
picture of them very far away.
Like
Yeah, I
my
know.
favorite duck duck.
Yeah, it was awesome. And I know that you probably don't want recognition for it, because I think Kim does a ton of work, but I know that you had to have done a ton of work.
Yeah, I saw you,
That
honey,
was
you
fun.
had a
Helped us out
honey-do
to take it down.
list,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you had a long
Yeah.
list of things to do.
Yeah, it was fun.
You were voluntold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It was one of those.
Yeah, that was awesome, though. It was great work.
Thank you.
An incredible event, yes, thank you very much, Chad and Kim is unbelievable.
I know, isn't she?
Unbelievable.
Amazing.
Well, that and then the parade is always fun to watch and it's always fun to see so many different groups from the school there as well. So that's a huge event in the community as well. So
The guy in the towel was my favorite.
No, she was good.
He's creepy. Oh, God, he's good. I was waiting for him to go down. All right, no, he's good. We have no student council here, so we will go to superintendent report.
All right, thank you. Our summer programming is off and running. We have, I think, a record for the number of summer enrichment and recreational programs that we're offering through community ed that just really happy with the growth in that area. We have had some, you know, there's a lot of things you gotta work through, like one is like all the rain that we're having and having to cancel and reschedule. And there's just a lot of moving parts and pieces every day. So there's really not a day off in that department because there's always stuff going on. And also with some of the road construction on that side of town, you know, that's gonna be an ongoing challenge for us for the next several months. And of course, the rain changes schedules and timeframes with some of that as well. So that's really keeping lots of our summer staff on their toes. Tiger Club is off to a great start and starting some of our summer school programming starting up as well. I did, as you know, I've been trying to keep you in the loop with some of the negotiations back and forth with attorneys and the developer on the land. We do think we have something that you can vote on, but it's a vote to approve a purchase agreement that would essentially allow them to move forward. And there are some contingencies set in there, so it's a vote to approve a purchase agreement that still, there's a couple ways that it may not happen. And one of the biggest is we still would need to approve an easement, right? But they really aren't in a position to move forward with all of the survey work that they need to do to know where that easement would go unless they know that they have a tentative purchase agreement. So that's kind of the steps that we've agreed to with our attorney. So I want you to be aware of that. Doing lots of principals and admin evaluations right now. We're starting some of our transitions with some new team members with some longstanding veteran admin retiring, one of which is Keith. So we're transitioning in our new building and grounds director and our new accountant and then payroll as well. So, you know, we're moving forward with that. I want the board to be aware that I am having some discussions with our nursing department and a medical kind of clinic regarding the potential of exploring offering some virtual clinic visits to families within our own health offices and partnering with another organizations. And we've had one big meeting with them. We're kind of in a holding pattern, but our medical advisor, Dr. Peterson, was part of that as well. It isn't a clinic that's affiliated with M Health Fairview, although we do have M Health Fairview's, you know, blessing, if you will. Not that we need it to move forward with that, because I think it fits within their vision of community care and access to care. And the clinic that I'm referring to, it's out of Zimmerman. I'm not really 100% sure of the name of it. So anyways, more to come on that. I just don't want you to be blindsided if you hear us talking more about that. Still really in the infancy stages of what that might look like. But it'd be pretty cool to have that service as an option to families. Want you to know that in our pursuit of trying to improve in the area of climate and culture within our school district, we're doing some planning with Captivate Video to do a project called the Voices Framework. I will send out an email to you with more information on what that is, but it's really a way for us to interview students to get the student perspective, to bridge what we call the perception gap between what adults think is happening and what students say is really happening. And we think that if our team members and adults kind of we bridge that gap, that would help them have more empathy and understanding in terms of ways that we can better serve our student body. So that's a project that we're working on. Another project that we're planning on is preparing to bring in an organization called Youth Frontiers to do what's called a kindness retreat, a courage retreat, and a respect retreat for our 5th grade, 8th grade, and 10th grade. And it's probably, in my opinion, one of the best organizations in the country at this work.
What's the name?
It's called Youth Frontiers. I'd encourage you to just do a Google search, look at their website. There's a good 2-minute video that you can watch that kind of captures the essence of what they do. But just trying to come at all of this from different angles, and that is a pretty darn effective tool to do. And we haven't done it, quite honestly, mostly because of cost. This is something I've asked Michelle to put in our budget so that we would have some dollars to be able to do that. And then lastly, just want you to know we're continuing our planning to expand our online programming from what we had K-8 or K-12, and we took a pause on that to kind of get our act together, and now moving that back forward with adding more grades. And that work is going well, but you know, it's a lot of things that we're doing on a daily basis. Lots of planning involved with that, so I'll keep you posted on that. So I'll end my remarks unless you have any further questions.
Anybody have any questions for Ben? All right, we will move on then to item number 7, to approve the agenda. Would somebody like to make a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
I'll second it.
All right, Melissa has made the motion, Chad is second. Any comments or questions on the agenda? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, agenda approved. We need a motion to approve the meeting minutes from May 21st. Is there a motion to make those?
So moved.
Motion's been made by Don. Is there a second? Second. Second by Sue. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that is approved. It is really raining. We need a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Motion's made by Melissa. Is there a second? Second. Second by Sue. Any comments or questions on the consent? All right, hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda is approved. Our first information item is our first reading of some policies. Anybody want to go over that, or
Basically,
it looked like there was a lot of MSBA,
just updating to MSBA and then,
there's a new one, right? The security,
yeah, that's one that was adopted or was written by our people internally.
Okay.
That was pretty well vetted through the process.
any questions or comments about the policies? It's a first reading. So they'll be on our July meeting to approve. So if you have any thoughts about it later, let Don know or Ben know. We'll move on to the next item, information item then, activity fees.
Yeah, this is under information, so just to be clear, there are no voting on this, but it's something that we feel like it's something that the board should review on somewhat of a regular basis. As you know, inflation in all areas continued to go up, and activities is not immune to that. Perfect example is, you know, we're hearing from referee associations and officiating associations that they're increasing $30, $40, $50 a night. That's quite a huge increase inflationary wise. And if we don't review this on a regular basis, I think we'll get ourselves way too far behind. We do have the comparisons to other Mississippi 8 conference schools. You'll see that we're amongst the lowest. I don't think we're the lowest, but maybe we're the second our third lowest.
I have a, can I ask?
Yeah.
I have a question about the hockey. So the hockey is not, we don't. Do we rent the facility
We lease it.
or we lease it?
Mhm.
Okay, so this fee would include paying,
Not even close.
No, I
but I
think
mean, it was, it should be supposed. Tell me how the hockey fee, what is that?
isn't
Just like any other.
Coaches
Yeah.
and,
Mhm.
coaches and
Coaches.
busing and referees.
and so the
It's
school
off-
pays for the lease. Got it, okay.
It offsets costs, and the lease actually is paid for by the taxpayers. We turn that into the.
It's on a levy.
Oh, the levy, okay.
So but the activities fee is like coaches, transportation, referees, and essentially like
Just the basics.
your jerseys, which you don't get new jerseys, and I think it's like a 7-year rotation or something now.
Okay,
So it's.
I just wasn't sure how that worked with the. Not owning that.
I think we all go on this knowing that, you know. I don't know the appropriate way or politically correct way to say this. You lose money on activities. I mean, you're not gonna, the fees that we receive and the gates that we receive in terms of revenue. Doesn't even scratch the surface in terms of the expenditures that we spend. But we do it because it's the right thing to do, it's extension of the academic time as part of the student school experience, right? That's what school is all about, we wanna do that. But the tricky thing is if we don't try and kind of strike a balance with revenue and expenditures. And if the expenditures go up in activities, but we don't increase any, we're gonna have to take that money from someplace, right? And then basically you're cutting in other areas, so. It's just something that I think as we talked in our activity steering committee and finance, we were maybe suggesting a modest, like $25 increase. At least in the varsity or the high school
High school.
sports, but maybe Eric, you can
Yeah,
speak to it
It
more.
was, in the activities committee, we recommend increasing the high school activity fees $25. And we kind of even kicked around the idea of getting rid of the second and third sport reduction.
Yeah,
Because
'cause
there's
not
no other
everybody's got
schools
that.
that do that. And we all thought it was really important to try to keep the middle school cheap, I guess, per se, right? To try to give
Try
the
it.
kids an experience, like the opportunity to experience it and try it
Well, we're actually the highest.
in the middle school, yeah.
In the Mississippi Union. So we sure don't want
So-
to raise those.
So we were just kind of kicking around the idea of the high school, not increasing middle school activity fees. Obviously, there's those activities like swimming, golf, I think, a few other ones that are, 7 through 12, that those kids in the middle school would be affected. but-
Yeah, and they pay the high school. fee.
Yeah,
They
it's
do
other
pay high
than
school
cross
fee,
country.
yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Is there a reason that our, like, some of these just, I mean, not that you obviously are in any of these other school districts, but like we seem really low on the hockey fee, but these other, couple of these places don't have any at all.
They don't have hot.
Yeah, some don't have hockey,
No, oh, no.
Yeah,
but I mean, we recommended in the activities committee raising high school $25. I would not be opposed to raising it $25 and just going with the one sport, not a discount for multiple sports, because we all know that
we don't. they
Those-
pay the same price.
your first sport is in the fall, your second sport is gonna be in the winter. Those winter referees are still just as much money, if not more money, and there's generally more games that you're gonna need referees for in the winter, and then you get to the spring and baseball, softball umpires are $125 a game.
Well, yeah, and then you still got the family.
We're not
camp
charging a
out,
gate
so.
for baseball.
Yeah, you're not charging a gate for baseball. What was that, Don?
You still have the family cap, so,
Yeah. The family cap, we wouldn't take away, I don't think. That doesn't-
so,
I think that you need to try to keep that there, for sure.
Mhm.
So would we look at, are the football and hockey, were those the only two we are gonna go up or go up altogether 25
I
and
think-
then
I
those
think
two go up
everything.
as well?
Yes, so what we would think is instead of it saying first sport, it just says. Whatever, what does it say, standard,
Standards. yeah.
so $225.
Okay,
Eliminate the second sport and third sport,
okay,
and then football goes from $225 to $250, and hockey is the same.
same.
250.
and then what about your, ball musical and play?
All those would go up 25. Essentially, all high school activities go up $25.
The fine arts as well.
Yes.
I think that's fair.
The one thing, yeah, we just did not want to touch the middle school. activities.
I don't think we should.
No, I think that's an opportunity where a lot of them get to try to see if it's worth investing
Yes.
into the high school.
And kids that are on free and reduced, so.
Yeah. Yeah, the kids that are on free and reduced, I think we should keep that too, but honestly, in my experiences, there's not that many kids that are in activities that actually affects.
Yeah.
More so in middle school, I think, than the high school.
Well, yeah, and hopefully you would never know if that was the case anyhow, because the office would work through that and they wouldn't share that with you.
Did we consider going up any more than 25 on like the hockey or the football, just because of our, well, maybe the football, we're not really that far. The hockey is,
I think you don't want to run people out either. though.
oh, that's true. And if we're rating everything 25 anyway,
Yeah, you don't want
just
to
something to keep
seclude,
an eye on. Okay.
seclude one sport.
Well, like Cambridge, they have a hockey team, but they do
don't charge
205, they pay the standard, so not everybody.
That's that. Yeah.
And, Big Lake, they have a boys hockey team, the Big Lake and Becker girls play here in Princeton, but.
I'm fairly certain too that at least a couple of these districts are having the same discussion of raising. So. I mean, some of these might go up a little bit too. I know Shasina Lakes, for example, was really looking at some increases. You know, we put it on information for you. I mean, you have a whole month to ponder this. If you have any questions at all or want more data, you know, we can reach out to the other schools or get it for you. But this is the document that all MS or M8 schools work off of, kind of a shared AD document.
Great, any other comments or questions? So we'll have that on in July,
Yes,
okay. Our first action item tonight is a resolution establishing the dates for filing for candidacy already. It's that time of year. So we need a resolution, I move to accept the resolution establishing dates for filing affidavits of candidacy and authorizing the election clerk to take actions necessary to administer an election as presented. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion's been made by Melissa. Is there a second? Second by Chad. Any comments or questions? All right, we will vote, roll call because it's a resolution and we'll start with Sue.
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Deb, yes, Eric,
Yes.
Yes.
And yes.
Ted, yes. All right, resolution passes. All right, we have parking lot bids.
Yes, we had a very good bid day. We had 7 contractors, just if you look in the budget document down a ways, we had an estimate in there of about 550,000 for the project. It will be much less than that, even with soft costs, because our low bid was 209,000. And it is ACI asphalt and concrete. So, as soon as we, give the go ahead here tonight, they will get started after maybe the rain quits.
For a few minutes anyways.
Some boat builders and stuff.
And this is the parking lot, okay, by the
It's
back.
the east, yeah.
just kind of finishing, you know how you got the nice part and then you got
Yeah.
not so nice part.
Yeah.
So when you drive over it, you won't know it's not here.
Go through the big mud holes, which are probably very big right now.
Oh, gosh, I bet they are.
Yeah, we better hope there's not soil corrections.
Yeah,
$84 a yard. Is that what it is?
for them, yeah, for ACIS.
Why they can afford to bid lower maybe?
Yeah, they're only $160 lower.
Oh, you got some good bids on there. Yeah, we did.
And their soil is 35.
Yeah, we gotta bring in 2 yards, then we just lost. Gotta take a little bit, right?
All right, is there a motion to approve the bid for ACI asphalt and concrete as presented?
So moved.
A motion made by Chad, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Melissa, any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed? All right, we get to new parking lot there. We'll move on to 2024-2025 budget. Michelle, here we are.
The last
Time
part
to
of the
approve.
school year, yes. Some of these I won't have us open up, but we'll run through as the very first one, of course, has the full budget just put together. Long-term facility maintenance, that is all of the projects we have been talking about and has not been changed. We will actually be reviewing that. We have to put together the 10-year plan here at the beginning of July for you to approve. And we will have an updated budget at that point for you to approve. So we're not gonna spend a lot of time on that. Operating capital, that also has not changed. So unless somebody would like to really go over every dime of that, we'll bring that up. Compensatory, we typically have not pulled compensatory separate. I froze.
Okay, it's the raining.
No, it won't come up. Anyway,
I got the computer over there.
Yo,
yeah, but I need the document to come up.
Oh, that's got it then.
Yeah, it's just that mine froze, that's fine. So, because we went from about a $700,000, pot of money, you know, between 600 and 700, it has been for how many years? And, this last year, of course, it went up significantly because of the change of how they calculate free and reduced. Compensatory, we now receive a chunk of change, so we are pulling that out as a separate reserve to approve. We have been tracking, any, money that is left, you have to spend it per building. Unless we vote at this level not to, typically we do spend it at the building, so we don't need to do anything more than that. So this is just a preliminary sheet of what we are going to charge next school year. We will update that when school starts, because the costs of whoever they put in certain roles can change how much things are costing, so I could change that first grade teacher to a second grade teacher as an example. But otherwise, that will now be on our budget as a separate reserve moving forward, so. Staff development, the staff development plan is the same as what we talked about in May. So I won't have you bring that up unless you want more detail on that. Q-Comp is also Q-Comp. That's a plan put together by the teachers. And we follow that plan, and that's pretty much the same. Year in, year out. Program initiatives, please bring that one. I am froze, so Chad, if you can get it up, I will just so. As you can see, we have 700,000 still set aside for teaching and learning materials. I hope to bring that back up to the 800 and maybe 900 level with the change with this year's year end, but we won't know year end until we get to year end. But this is the pot of money that we kind of use to get us through making sure that we can buy materials for the next couple of years. And if the unassigned can hold it at the end because we do better than we think, then we just leave that money there. It has worked well. It's something that came into being when I first got here. There was money in the bank, and we just kind of created the program initiatives to handle some things like bringing on Spanish immersion online and all those things. So we have turned it into the teaching and learning materials area, and we are, on the last year, I believe, of the ELA adoption that goes with the whole letters training. We're going into the middle school. High school is a little different than K-6. And then they're doing some 7 and 8 pilots. So we will still have a little bit of language arts, but after this big year with language arts, we are going to be moving into our math K-6, starting in 25-26. So just that when you think you've got teaching and learning materials bought for everything, we just start over with something else.
Great.
Yep, and then when we get done with math, we'll go back to ELA, and you know, the smaller area, science and social studies, you see them mixed in the middle here. We do keep up with those, and we do follow the what we are supposed to teach according to the state of Minnesota. So sometimes that it creates that we have to move things around a little bit because of when things come in timing wise, but I don't expect that we will get away from spending close to $400,000 a year. So this is pretty important to have some money set aside for this. Otherwise, our teachers can't do their jobs. Technology assigned, that has not changed. That's the program for student fees. The activity account is the same, 500. We do that. COVID-19 funding, I did leave the thing here.
Just to remind us that we don't have it anymore.
Just to remind you that it is, in fact,
I spent it all.
in fact, we are coming to the end of it, and we are spending it out. And of course, we wanted to match with our year end, even though we could go into July and August with it, because we do have September. We're trying to finalize everything. The one big pot of money was budgeted to be done. And then our teaching and learning part, where we are spending the money for letters and for tutoring and that kind of thing. We are just finalizing up those expenses, and that should be all done for June 30th also. So yeah, all of the money is now gone. We spent it and it's gone. That brings us to the unassigned. As you know, it's the same stuff we look at every year, salaries. This was not a, our contracts were all settled, so everybody that's in the budget was moved up with their contract. You know, we review everything, operational costs, sub costs, technology, costs for activities. We update severance, and any other category as needed. I have included the adjustments area along with a couple of things that we.
Yeah.
Here it goes. We added the -60 doesn't mean that, it means that it's actually taken away from the budget. We added back a classroom position when, we had, resignation with, the tech integrationist. So, we're aware of that. Otherwise, the list here is the same with primary, the intermediate, and the middle school. The school is the same. We did mention the additional SLP. That is not hired yet, but I wanted to show that that does have an impact, even though we will get that money, you know, almost 70 to 75% of it back.
Because of the billings for the.
Yeah, it's a year behind, yeah. And then we did add some additional consultant fees for marketing. of about 50,000. And today, as Ben mentioned, we've got a lot, going on with the changeover of, our accountant, our payroll, and our buildings and grounds, director. And one of the things that we talked about a little bit today is his first thing out the gate is to find himself a partner in crime. We do need, some kind of custodial engineer to help him out because it's way too big a job for one person. And then, we had the resignation of the technology integrationist, which actually came out of staff development, but that just gave us the ability to direct, code, our staff development days, into the actual budget. So, there's a way we do that without affecting our lives too badly. So, that shows. So our total reductions actually ended up being 510,000 once we put the ads in. We then, so can you bring up, I'm gonna quit trying.
Yeah,
Is
I know.
the general one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
pretty much.
the general one, right underneath it. As I told you, prior. So all the others, the unassigned down at the bottom, the very last line, that's gray. Cause all the others have their own little area. I told you we would be over 1.7 million when, we were here in May. We are a little bit higher than that. Large part of that has to do with, our, insurance for property and liability. I don't know if you've noticed in your home life that it's getting very expensive. We have not finalized that. I have, got Jim out there. Our rep is, we did the sending it out to the different, venues that bid that for schools. And the one thing we do know is we're gonna stay with EMC. But we are looking at higher deductibles. Currently, we're at 25,000 for a deductible. We are gonna look at going higher. But this has got us at, without any change in the deductibles. So, that was a $60,000 increase. So we definitely are gonna look at the deductibles and the impact that has. We'll talk about more of that in finance. So, we are, pretty much where I thought we'd be. So, we have a fund balance of 4.4 million as of 23. We expect to go up in 25. Even if we don't, we would still have enough fund balance before we are critical to get us through this next year, but then we would be at a critical level. So we'll see where 23 or 24 brings us in. And, of course, we're doing the whole big study with the public and what to do moving forward. And then we do have a legislative session coming. So,
We have a new KA program too that we put a little boost.
and we may, yes, we'll go down the rest. There's a little bit more in here.
Okay.
Because yes, I mentioned that at the end, we do not have a budget for that. We do not have enough pieces in place for us to do that. Food service is next on here, right?
Yep.
We don't need to bring that up. That budget's relatively the same as it was previous. I will mention, out of the equipment, the legislature did change it so we can buy lunchroom tables out of it. And our high school is the first place we're starting because, well, they're kind of the worst.
Kind of even us.
Once in a while, I get to go in and tell principal they get to go shopping without them begging.
Waste it on Brian.
So that will be part of that plan. Community education, also that hasn't changed since our last meeting. So that we're doing very well, has been indicated with the last 2 years. Our fund balance has gone up. It went up in 23 and we are projecting it to go up in 24. So that budget plan is solid. the building construction fund, we don't really need to bring that up unless you want to. The plan is attached. It's the same plan we've talked about all year. Nothing has changed on it. Other than, like I said, we will need to, do some stuff with the 10-year plan with it. And then the debt service fund, we don't have to bring that up unless you really want to. That is our, post payment, and we make those every year without a problem. So as always, the budget, there are chargebacks and things that can happen at the end of the school year. We will do a revised in the middle, and we will hopefully come out a little better. I'm hoping that we were really ultra conservative on enrollment, taking out the venture conversation, but I am hoping that we were conservative on enrollment and that when we open our doors and our October report comes in, we have a better revenue day that day. And then, of course, venture is not in this budget yet. As soon as we get, we'll approve that as a separate budget, but it will be an assigned budget. It'll replace that line where that's blank there. It was COVID-19, it'll be venture. There you go.
All right, any questions for Michelle? Is there a motion to accept the 2024-2025 budget as presented?
Someone,
Motion made by Chad, is there a second? Second by Sue, any comments or questions? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Budget is approved. Thank you, Michelle, for all your work on this, keeping us up to date. Community education agreement. Is there a motion to accept the community education agreement as presented? So moved. Motion by Sue, is there a second? Second by Don. Any comments or questions on this, or?
This is just a yearly kind of adjustment in wages, all of these, I guess, random assortment of different positions. We have community ed, like lifeguards and,
Tiger Club.
Tiger Club, yeah, we just need to continually make some adjustments on that, and that's what this reflects.
All right, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Agreement is passed. Our last action item is the land purchase agreement.
Yeah, I alluded to this a little bit. I mean, we've done a lot of work in the last couple of days, just to get this hammered out, and our attorney has done a nice job working with me to get us to a place where we'd like to go. Their biggest ask was they did want to extend the date of closing later than what the original purchase agreement, which, if you remember, when they came the first time, they were ready to provide us a purchase agreement, and they had a closing date of, I don't know if it was like September this year. Yeah, it was really soon. And of course, when they looked at the reality of it, there's a lot of approvals and different city and county and DNR folks they gotta work through before they can, really get a lot of work done. So they did ask to extend that, and we shared with them that that would be a significant concession on our part, because we would basically be holding that land for them for a longer period of time when we potentially could go out trying to find another buyer. And if they wanted, I guess as for us making that concession, we were asking for a higher dollar amount in terms of earnest money that would be non-refundable if they backed out of the deal. Just to ensure that, they were serious. And they were, and then the other big thing is it's all contingent upon a future board approving of an easement. So they're in a position where they need to do some surveying and some other work to be able to come up with their best location for where they would ask for that easement to be. And they want to work with us on that. So it's basically it's a purchase agreement for now, contingent upon two things. One is final review and approval from our attorney. I'd like that to be on the record. And then it's listed in there, but also contingent upon an easement. Of course, they certainly could buy the land and not get an easement from us. I mean, that's always an option, but I don't think that's the option that they'd like to see happen, because of course, well, we've had them present, so. And we've had this on information several times and discussed this, and we've had some follow-up emails and things, so. We're asking you to approve this contingent upon attorney final review and approval. And then we can move forward, and then we'll just keep you updated. That's what I got.
Make a motion to accept the purchase agreement based on the terms Ben set with the attorney review.
Okay. Motion's been made by Eric, seconded by Melissa. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, purchase agreement is a go. We have no additions to the agenda. Our next meeting is July 16th, and we also have a finance meeting before that. And then Eric and Melissa won't be here, they'll be in here. Yeah, well. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
You're adjourned.
Yeah, everyone. Thanks, Boyd.
Thank
Thank you.